Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Perfect Acceleration Sim Racing, and welcome for the first time this season to Zandvoort. We have gone over the channel for round number 4 of the Ginetta eSeries of 2025. Myself, Jack Werrell, will run you through all of the action once again this evening. Of course, Tom O'Farrell, our broadcast director, hard at work throughout trying to keep up with all the action and bringing us the brilliant pictures we see throughout. Of course, Mick Sutton, our series organiser, the man behind it all at the PASR, and Peter Cornelius, hoping for the first time this season we don't see him take to the circuit as our safety car driver, but hard at work as our race director. Where have you been? Where are we going? What do we have to look forward to? We kicked off the season on the 4th of September, almost a month ago now. At Donington Park on the GP circuit. We then went to Croft before we went to Alton Park last week. We're here at Zandvoort this week, and then Brands Hatch GP. We round out the season next week on the GP layout. In terms of what the drivers are fighting for, we've got plenty on offer in terms of opportunities. So if you win the scholarship class, we'll go into the classes if this is the first time you're joining us a little later on. If you win the scholarship class, you get free entry into the Ginetta Scholarship held just next month at Blyton Park. This is where we see the stars of the future take to the circuit with the hopes of winning a fully funded drive in the Ginetta Juniors for next season. If you win the all-comers class, you get a full factory tour at Ginetta, so you get to see the likes of where the Ginetta G56, where the G55 was made, all of the G40s, whether that be the GT5 or the Juniors, we'll see this evening, as well as some of the prototypes and some of the road cars of which Ginetta produce. How close are drivers to getting there and getting their hands on some of those brilliant prizes? In terms of our scholarship class, Gabriel Norse is out in front by quite a way now, 218 points. Gabriel Norse is on ahead of Riley Pogue on 157, who's only a point clear of William Johnson. Luke Armstrong, only 4 points back from those two before we get another jump back to Luca Erdos and Jacob Armour. I'll allow you to go through the rest of the scholarship points as you wish. Charlie Devlin out in front in the all-comers class ahead of Finley Lines on 121 points, who's only 3 points clear of Albert Henriksen Bell, who's only 10 points clear of Jonty Restrick, who's only 3 points clear of Nathan Williams, who was away last week. Saw him at the weekend, racing a legend at Snetterton, went very well indeed. Jake Critchley on 96 points, tied for 6th place with Jacob Ellis, both on 96 points. Don't rule out Sean Duffy. You can't rule out Callum Williams. It all gets very tight and twisted as we look further and further down the order. In terms of qualifying, that's already kicked off. We're already away. It's been a quick start to this evening. Who's at the top? It's going to be Luca Erdos that is currently setting the times. So for Luca Erdos, he was the first to take to the circuit. Still times to roll in, at least representative times to be found. Keeping an eye on Gabriel Norse at the moment. Of course, he's well up there in the championship and will be wanting to further cement that position throughout this evening. Still plenty of points on offer, still 4 races left to go in the championship. Brilliant camera angle as the cars leave the left-hander on the way out of Hans-Ernst Bocht, then through Kumo, a very quick right-hander, so crucial to your sort of straight line speed as you go through the what has recently been reprofiled right-hander. Still running on the flat configuration, heading on towards the start-finish straight towards Tarzan. And then we'll start to get at least a few initial lap times posted. Nathan Williams, the one that sets the time for the rest to beat, so he lays down the marker of a 2-minute 5.377. A further quarter of a second back from there, we get Charlie Devlin. Charlie was the one punching the hole in the air for Nathan to drive into on that lap most previously gone. Gabriel Norse on a 2-minute 5.801, so he's got a bit of time to find, but only, what, 4 tenths away. More and more times being posted, as you can expect. These are just the first times being posted, so you've got driver's out lap, which is around 2 minutes. Callum Williams finds himself off the road. Tricky section there, because that's just on the run out of what is in theory turn 4, so he's got to be super careful on where he rejoins. Just about manages to rejoin on the way out of Hugenholz. And then it's a very quick section through Hunterdug, because that leads you, it's such a momentum-based circuit, in what are cars that have to be driven with momentum at the forefront of your priority list. You have to be so careful with throttle application and brake application, because any mile an hour lost just multiply the further around the circuit you get. You can see where drivers are with the track map in the right hand side of your screen. Gives you also a quite clear picture of just how congested certain sections of the circuit are. Heading through sector 2, you can see just how busy that section of circuit is. Callum Williams obviously wanting to recover from that earlier mistake early in this lap, so it's effectively brought his qualifying down to what would be a 2-lap sprint, because you've got your out lap before you go on to your first representative lap time, and then it really starts to speed up. So the previous lap left something to be desired. This lap he's got a lot of work to do to get back round, get the momentum built, get back in his rhythm. Luke Armstrong rattling over the curbs as he tries to find the time. All of a sudden, Callum Williams, he's got 2 laps to get this complete, the end of this one, before he goes on to what will be his penultimate flying lap. And as the clock edges towards 0, he will start to feel the pressure. Albert Henriksen Bell over the line has just improved onto a 2-minute 5.952. So that puts him 4th for now, 1.5 tenths away from the inside of the second row. Will Johnson could be on for a good improvement. Goes through, breaks the beam, posts a 2-minute 6. So a bit more time for Will Johnson to find, but a 2-minute 6.719 will do. That's his fastest so far in this session. Gabriel Norse finds himself on scholarship pole position. Jacob Ellis over the start-finish line posted a 2-minute 9.356. Or 3.76, pardon me. So Jacob Ellis with, again, a bit more time to find, I'm sure he would like. He was caught in the wars at Oulton Park. Somebody's off the road on the right-hand side. That looks suspiciously like Jacob Armour has found himself off the road. Currently finds himself in 10th place, but it's an odd place to go off unless there was lots of oversteer on the exit of turn 1, maybe. Yeah, so he is slowly getting back up to speed, but again, still work to do, it would seem, for Jacob Armour. Almost a minute, and we've not broken the sector 1 beam, so it was definitely Jacob Armour off the road. Dominic Jones will be heading on to his first flying lap, or completing his first flying lap. Let's have a quick look down to see where Dominic Jones is. Yeah, so this will be his first flying lap that he will be going on to. The difference between the classes, if you look on the timing tower on the left-hand side of your screen, The number boards with black backgrounds are the all-comers class. The ones with orange are in the scholarship class, and if you're looking at the cars, if they have a day-glow yellow sun strip, as we'll see on Dominic Jones's car there, that's one of the visual indicators, and the purple rear number plate, that shows they're in the scholarship class. If you're looking at an all-comers class car, they don't have the day-glow yellow sun strip, much like an Andrew Bailey, and the rear number plate has got a black background, so it's a quick way to pick between the classes. Car off on the right-hand side, that looks like Scotty O'Connor has found himself in a bit of strife. The car is quite combined through there, because you're braking, turning, going over the curb, and then loading one side of the car before piling on the steering lock and trying to load the other side of the car. So the car does inevitably try and swap ends. That's through Hans-Ernst-Bocht. Such a technical section of circuit, but so important as you head towards Kumo. In towards turn one goes Callum Williams, so he does manage to post a time on this occasion. Very sideways through Tarzan. Brilliant save to keep it pointing somewhat the right direction. He's just posted a 2-minute 7.827, so not a terrible lap at all, and that's good enough to post or put him up into 13th place, which at the moment is 6th in class. So a good way to bounce back after a mistake early, but really managing the oversteer is Callum Williams, pushing on, but starting to find the limits. Have we had an issue for Charlie Devlin? I think we have. Charlie Devlin is out of the way, but right up against the Armco barrier, which makes you think, did he take the fuel out of the car? Can't hear an engine running, can we? I don't think we can, so no, the revs are at the floor, so I think Charlie Devlin, he went for a low fuel run, but maybe stayed out one lap too long. Luca Riordos has fallen the same fate. It's become rather attritional this qualifying session, so two of the cars inside the top five have both had to pull off to the side of the circuit. Another big slide for a car up the road. Not exactly sure who that was. I'll try and pick it out. But there's plenty of action going on. Jacob Armour finds himself off the road in quite a big way as well. So Jacob a long way off the circuit. He will bring a premature end to his qualifying session on one of the escape roads. So this session has become very attritional. More cars off on the right-hand side. So one of which is Callum Williams, who's desperate to try and rejoin. The other being Athena Cooper. That's a unique way of getting out of the way, at least for Callum Williams. Finds the gap in the Armco barrier. So the checkered flag has come out. Charlie Devlin has to settle for second place at best. Still reversing, is Callum Williams. Exactly how that will go down. And then a J-turn over the road into the barrier. Exactly how that will go down with our race director, Peter Cornelius. I'd imagine it won't be too well. Jacob Ellis over the start-finish line. 2 minutes 7.547. So that puts him up into 11th place. We've seen Andrew Bailey over the start-finish line as well to post a 2 minutes 7.046. So he managed to improve upon his time. But Nathan Williams in the pit lane, he's already seen the checkered flag. The top three already have seen the checkered flag. So Nathan Williams has somewhat secured pole position. As for Albert Henriksen Bell, he's the only one that can really bring the fight now and potentially work his way onto the front row of the grid. It's an okay sector one, still leaving a little bit to be desired, I think, for Albert, looking in comparison to his previous and those of the cars around him. He'll be pushing on now, using absolutely every inch of Zandvoort circuit available to him, riding on board near the diff and the gearbox, hard at work. On towards the short straight, coming out of turn 10, in towards Hans-Ernst-Bocht. Let's see how much work he has to do on the steering wheel to keep the car straight. We've seen a couple of drivers get caught out, plenty of locking up right the way up to the top of the rev range. Nice and smooth from Albert Henriksen Bell before he pitches the car in for the second part. It's early on the throttle, managing the oversteer. A flash of the lights just to try and work his way through and past some of the traffic. But for Albert Henriksen Bell, this could be an okay lap from him. He's still pushing on out to the final corner. Let's see if he can pick up just that little bit of time that he needs. He's trying to take the shortest run to the line. There, when he's opted, he's not on for an improvement. So into the pit lane comes Albert Henriksen Bell and bring an end to his session. So that should be qualifying pretty much complete. We'll run you through the grid prior to the race starting. But what a way to kick off the evening at Zandvoort. Very attritional, that session, not quite how we saw it unfolding. But with Ginetta, the Ginetta Junior Scholarship working their way over to Zandvoort this year, it was somewhat attritional there as well. There was plenty of action going on the circuit this year for the Ginetta Junior Scholarship, but Nathan Williams with pole position. The time we saw him set early on in the session, the 2 minute 5.377, shows he got the best out of the tyres in the very early stages. Might be a conversation to have with that of, let's go with Luca Erdos. Luca, we were going to ask the question actually. I mean, welcome into the commentary box, but we saw a couple of drivers pulling over towards the end of that session, maybe running it too light on fuel, but also a lot of the drivers posted their fastest time on the very first lap, and then from there never seemed to improve. Is it quite aggressive on tyres? Fortunately, we can't hear Luca. So, I mean, we'll move the question over to Jake Critchley. Jake, I mean, welcome into the commentary box. Obviously, Zandvoort tonight, a bit of a roller coaster of a circuit. Are you finding it quite aggressive on tyres?
A little bit, to be fair. Tyres are a little bit understeery for me personally, but the left-hand side tyres are quite good. Just the right-hand tyres, I can't really seem to get kicked in right now. So yeah, still really experimenting. So we're going to experiment in the race, which is a bit of a gamble, but yeah, looking good.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a unique circuit as well in comparison to what we've seen. It's got sort of its tight and twisty sections. It's got obviously the long straight, but also there's so much undulation change and camber through some of the corners. So it's quite a technical circuit and really does invite some close racing. So what are your thoughts on that? Looking forward to it?
Yeah, 100% looking forward to it. Never really personally raced around here, so definitely going to be experienced, and I really can't wait for it, to be quite frankly honest. Yeah.
Great stuff. Well, it's a pleasure for you to jump into the commentary box and have a chat with us, and hopefully we can chat to you again later on tonight.
Thank you.
So a quick word with Jake Critchley. To the best of my understanding, we got Luca back. Luca, it was a busy week last week. Could potentially be a busier week this week because the grid is out in full force, and as we mentioned, it really does get quite tight, twisty, and technical here at Zandvoort, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think slipstream's also a big thing around here in Zandvoort. I think if you can work with somebody, you'll definitely be able to catch a pack ahead. And it's definitely quite tight, so overtaking will be quite limited as well.
And obviously we know that momentum is so crucial in the Ginetta Juniors. Is it something easily found or something quite hard to find around here? Because with the camber and the undulation, it adds that extra little dynamic that you've got to drive around.
Yeah, I think if you're on the wrong line, your momentum out of a corner, especially in the last corner, say if you touch the gravel trap, it kills your momentum. So it's definitely a very precise circuit with all the camber changes, and that definitely throws the car off.
Well, I mean, it was a good qualifying, so hopefully you can convert that into 2 brilliant race results this evening. So fingers crossed this isn't the first time we're going to be speaking to you tonight.
Hopefully so, thank you.
Great stuff. So great to chat to Luca, as always. And yeah, hopefully this isn't just going to be the first time we're going to speak to him. Hopefully we can grab him on a number of other occasions throughout this evening. So we've got around about 2 minutes until the race gets underway. So we'll have a very brief word from our sponsors and be back with you ready for the start of race number 1. Welcome back to Zandvoort, everybody, and welcome to the start of race number 1. We'll guide you through the way in which they line up. Row 1, you find your pole sitter, Nathan Williams and Charlie Devlin. On row 2, we've got Gabriel Norse and Albert Henriksen-Bell. Luca Erdos and Luke Armstrong find themselves on row 3. William Johnson has got Andrew Bailey for company on row 4 of the grid. Row 5, you find Lucas Chatterton and Jacob Armour. Before we get to the Ellises, Jacob and Harry Ellis on row number 6. Row 7 is Callum Williams, Jake Critchley, followed by Sean Duffy, Leon Olakoju, Athena Cooper, Scotty O'Connor, Hugo Boscher, Dominic Jones and Aaron Beattie to round out your grid. 6 red lights, away we go. Nathan Williams gets an okay start. Charlie Devlin doesn't get the best of starts, but Nathan immediately over to try and defend. He's aware that Charlie will try and go for that inside line. It was a good call to come over and defend because Charlie Devlin has got to the outside. Just wandering over to the middle of the road is Nathan to try and cover off any further attack. Almost 4 wide on the run in towards turn 1. Gets very, very congested indeed. But Charlie Devlin all the way around the outside for the race lead as we head through turn 1. That's going to be a brilliant move if he can make it work. It'll be the outside again for what will be turn 4 in towards the tight left-hand hairpin. It cambers you in, so you can really carry some brilliant momentum, but there's a big accident in the background. Unfortunately, we've lost Jacob Ellis, we've lost Leon Olakoju, Jacob Armour's involved, so do, I think, was Dominic Jones. He might have just managed to nip through that little battle, but Charlie Devlin, in the meantime, has gone to the lead. Brilliant run for Charlie Devlin. He managed to hold it around the outside through turn 1. That set him up for turns 2, 3 and 4. Through one of the hardest corners on the circuit as the car's bouncing around. You can see Gabriel Norse sat there third in the queue, desperately trying to get some grip out of those front tyres. Nathan Williams slightly out of shape. That will just cost him a mile an hour or so as they head in towards turn 9. Up towards turn 10 they will go, and again, it's such a tricky corner. So many different lines you can take. Turn in too early, you find yourself running wide. Turn in too late, you never meet the apex. Nathan Williams, the body language of the car just shows how hard he's pushing. Car's constantly trying to swap ends, but Charlie Devlin, having got to the front, he's just trying to run away with this now. What does Gabriel Norse do? He doesn't need to fight this. He's got a car between himself and Luke Armstrong, which is the next car that he's fighting in the queue. He's got Albert Henriksen-Bell separates those two, but also he doesn't want to get held up by Nathan Williams here. So Gabriel will be pushing on. Charlie Devlin at the front will try and run away. The train is just working its way around lap 1, and those recovering from the earlier incident. Leon Olakoju was massively delayed. Athena Cooper, I don't think, took to the start line and started in the pit lane. So we'll keep an eye on what Athena can do. We'll have to keep an eye on Luca Erdos. Obviously, it was good to chat sideways through shot was Harry Ellis. Or Jacob Ellis, pardon me. Jacob Ellis was sideways through shot. He's just off the tail end of Andrew Bailey. Did we have a car up into the pit lane? Yes, we did. Callum Williams into the pit lane on the first lap of this race. Was that a drive-through penalty for a jump start potentially that's brought him in? Yeah, so Callum Williams gets a drive-through penalty for a jump start, so maybe not starting as he would mean to go on, and plenty of work to do for the remainder of race 1. And the unique thing with this one, Dominic Jones finds himself further compromised. That's on the exit of turn 1, so clearly some oversteer on the exit. Now manages to rejoin and get through the gears. It's been a troubled start to the race for Dominic Jones. But as we go back up towards the front of the field, Sean Duffy hot on the heels of Scotty O'Connor, again fighting for a position overall but not a position in class. But Sean Duffy doesn't want to wait there too long as Aaron Beattie is closing in. He's only a further second back from there. Through Chai Black, which is that long right-hander. It's so tricky to get the right line, but it's a good run for Sean Duffy. He'll try and be late on the brakes, up the inside on the run in towards turn 9, manages to get to the apex first, but Scotty O'Connor will carry the superior momentum all the way around the outside. They're going to be side by side by the time they arrive at turn 10. What did we say? Aaron Beattie straight on the scene. He's ready to pick up the pieces should something change, but Sean Duffy, now he's going for the preferred line, and you might think that's odd. It's the outside for the next corner, but then it converts to the inside for the slightly longer left-hander, which can benefit you here so long as you're brave enough on the brakes. They hit the brakes at a similar time. Sean Duffy not quite there, but Aaron Beattie into the back of Sean Duffy. That spins him almost through 180 degrees. And Sean, in desperation to get back going again, Jacob Armour arrives on the scene, so Jacob now loses out to that of Jacob Ellis. Those two will be side by side on the run in towards Kumo, the penultimate corner. But Jacob Ellis gets that position made. Charlie Devlin sets the fastest lap of the race, 2 minute 5.684, before that's immediately bettered by Gabriel Norse. Onto a 2 minute 5. I think it was a 164, a 127, pardon me, for Gabriel Norse. So he pushes on yet more, tries to close in onto the coattails of the leaders. Sean Duffy desperately trying to get through and past Hugo Bosch, now manages to cement his position in 15th. Bit of a recovery drive for Sean Duffy now. Aaron Beattie, in the meantime, will be trying to run away. A bit of a bump and run there from Nathan Williams. Just got onto the rear bumper of Charlie Devlin to unsettle the car. That washes him out wide, but Charlie holds on to the lead for now. Absolutely on the coattails of Charlie Devlin is Nathan Williams. Reaches for 5th gear. You've got to be very, very brave if you want to go around the outside here, because you'll be asking everything of the tyres. But Nathan holds station for now. We'll be looking for the better exit as we head into turn 8. What can Nathan Williams do at this juncture? Still 14.5 minutes of the race to go. Just a slight correction on the steering wheel from Nathan Williams, just to keep the car under his spell, braking sideways, backing the car into the back of Nathan Williams once more. That just slightly pitches him sideways. Luca Erdos picks up a further position and puts him up into 3rd in the scholarship class, 6th overall, slightly wide from Nathan Williams. That almost opens the door for Gabriel Norse. It does open the door for Gabriel Norse. He's desperately trying to get there. Let's see what he can do on the run in towards Hans Ernst Vogt. But now Nathan Williams comes over to cover once more. Albert Henriksen Bell watching this all unfold in front of him, trying to figure out exactly how he can be part of this little battle. Brilliant work so far as well from Luke Armstrong, who's still sat there in 5th place. Luca Erdos has got 2 seconds to make up if he wants to join that lead queue. Aaron Beattie now trying to work his way through and past Scotty O'Connor. He'll be the inside in towards the right-hander. Just about got the car slowed down. Scotty O'Connor will be hoping he can say the same. So deep on the brakes. Not only did he lose out to Aaron Beattie, he also lost out to Jacob Ellis. Jacob Armour is absolutely there with him. So this time it's a battle not only for a position overall, but a position in class as well. So Scotty O'Connor will be hoping to hold on to 6th place. Jacob Armour will be hoping to get inside the top 6 in the scholarship class. Jacob Ellis up on the curb, trying to squeeze his way up the inside of Aaron Beattie. Looks like he's got a good run as they head over the start-finish line, but he hit the curb, which won't have helped his momentum. They're absolutely side by side as they head towards turn 1, but no, Jacob Ellis not on this occasion, it would seem. Aaron Beattie just placing the car where he needs to not take any undue risk, at least at this stage. As for Andrew Bailey, he's trying to work his way through and past Sean Duffy. That will be for a position in class. Just about manages to find the Ginetta G40 Juniors width up the inside as they head through Hugenholtsbocht. It's then on to the outside. He will see Jacob Armour up the road and will want to try and work his way onto the tail of Jacob Armour. Then Scotty O'Connor before he'll find the next all-comers class cars. But Andrew Bailey, good move. It was a bold move up the inside. Just about managed to find the space. But attack turns to defence. Charlie Devlin has started to pull away slightly from Nathan Williams. Luca Erdos loses out to Luke Armstrong. These two have been scrapping all race long. Luca Erdos then squeezes his way back up the inside as Luke Armstrong finds himself off the road. Will Johnson is there with them, trying to make the most of their battle and trying to just close in over the final 12 minutes of this race. He might even go for an overtake here up the inside of Luke Armstrong on the run in towards the chicane. He's pretty much got the move done by the time they get to the chicane. Will Johnson, it'll be all the way around the outside. He gets the car slowed down, but then look, it cuts to the inside. No, not on this occasion. Back up the inside goes Luke Armstrong. Manages to secure the position, but then he finds himself backwards, it would seem. Luke Armstrong does get back going once more. Will Johnson picks up the place. Luca Erdos, that means, is now up into 2nd place in the scholarship class. Will Johnson finds himself 3rd in the scholarship class. Luke Armstrong down into not only 7th overall, but off the scholarship podium in this race into the pit lane. We're seeing somebody as well. We'll try and pick out exactly who that is by the time they ping through. Is it Athena Cooper back into the pit lane? No, it is going to be Luca Erdos. So into the pit lane comes Luca. Missed the notification as to exactly why he may end up with that drive-through penalty. May have been a jump start and he was managing that, just trying to compromise those around him. Charlie Devlin all over the grass. He's pushing hard in the lead of this race. But that may have just cost him that little bit of time, it would seem. We're hearing Luca Erdos may have kept his qualifying fuel in the car and not changed it around to the race. So he was looking good for 2nd place in class, but unfortunately a early trip to the pit lane will put pay to that, so that drops him right the way towards the tail end of the order. Albert Henriksen Bell is absolutely with that top four. Gabriel North still more than leading the way in the scholarship class now. He's got around about a 6-second lead over that of Will Johnson, who's currently sat second in class. Albert Henriksen Bell is there or thereabouts, trying to close in, but of course he is in the all-comers class. For Gabriel, obviously he wants to win in class, but to be on the overall podium, that's exactly what he'll be looking for. Charlie Devlin still driving his own race to try and keep Nathan Williams at bay, but Nathan gets a good run initially. The momentum swings back the way of Charlie Devlin as they head along the shorter straight. A quick flash of the lights from Albert Henriksen Bell. That may just be communicating, I don't want to fight with you. Let's just work together here. Try and put some pressure on those two up the road. All over the curbs is Charlie Devlin. So too was Gabriel Norse. Albert Henriksen Bell with the best seats in the house here. We're past the halfway mark. In towards Kumo, the field go once more. Charlie Devlin leads from Nathan Williams in second place. Gabriel Norse third, Albert Henriksen Bell fourth, Will Johnson currently sat in fifth place, ahead of Luke Armstrong and Lucas Chatterton. Jake Critchley sat there in eighth place, Harry Ellis in ninth, and Jacob Ellis rounds out your top 10. Is Albert Henriksen Bell going to help Gabriel Norse here? Yes, he is. He's going to try and push him up onto the coattails of Nathan Williams and Charlie Devlin. Lift off slightly earlier, just to allow Gabriel Norse the appropriate room to hit the brakes himself. Charlie Devlin was slightly deep on the brakes, still under huge pressure from Nathan Williams. Heading through turns 3 and 4. Nathan Williams late dive to the inside as they head into Hugenholm's box, but that compromises his exit now. That will leave him vulnerable to that of Gabriel Norse. Charlie Devlin will try and make the most of this. Jacob Ellis finds himself off the road, so too does Jacob Armour. Aaron Beattie was involved. That's 3 cars, 3 very quick cars as well, that find themselves scrambling back out of the gravel. The all-comers class this evening, the sort of mid-pack of the all-comers, has been really tightly contested. Nathan Williams looking this way and that, just trying to unlock the door on Charlie Devlin, and Charlie's driving a brilliant race, and you can see the car moving around underneath him, so I'd imagine it's not an easy job to drive the widest Ginetta Junior that was. Gabriel Norse could maybe do Charlie a favour here by starting to attack Nathan Williams. He had a little look earlier on, but since then we've not really seen him get back. Athena Cooper picks up a 5-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. So pit lane start was at least keeping her out of the way in terms of battles that were there and the incident that was there on lap 1. So Athena did the right thing there, a bit of foresight, saw that it does get quite tight, but now we see a mistake from Nathan Williams. He went slightly deep on the brakes, that runs him wide over the curb, and then struggling for the momentum once more. A dab of the brakes to fall back in line. Albert Henriksen Bell starting to apply the pressure into the back of Nathan Williams. That almost rotates him more than 90 degrees, but a quick flash for the lights to say sorry from Albert Henriksen Bell. So Gabriel Norse is up into second place. That gives Charlie Devlin a lead of around about 3/4 of a second. Callum Williams still all over the coattails of Sean Duffy. They've got the recovering Aaron Beattie, Jacob Armour and Jacob Ellis in tow. Aaron Beattie all over the curb on the way out. That almost spat him back over the road. Hugo Boscher does best of the rest and bounces over the exit curb through Hans Ernst Bocht. Through the final corner once more, back on towards the start-finish straight. And now we see the aerodynamic assistance slowly start to play effect. Harry Ellis looking up the inside of Jake Critchley, who runs wide, goes slightly too deep on the brakes. That compromises his exit and seemed fairly easy, at least by way of Harry Ellis. Just saw the gap open up and went for it, so that now puts him up into 4th in the all-comers class, up into 8th overall. Aaron Beattie has managed to work his way through and past Callum Williams as a group still chases down Sean Duffy, absolutely side by side through turns 3 and 4. Aaron Beattie will be on the outside, however, so he can be later on the brakes and earlier on the throttle. The car hooks around. Brilliant move if you can get that done for Aaron Beattie, and he can. What a move from Aaron Beattie. You could see that the camber would help him round. You can get a bit more throttle application on around the top and get onto it earlier as well. So it's put Aaron Beattie up into 13th overall. That will put him, 8th in the all-comers class now. Jacob Armour has had a troubled evening and will try and pick up the pieces of what's left, at least in race 1. 5 3/4 minutes of this race still to go. Aaron hard at work now having to defend slightly. Nathan Williams back up at the front since losing the place to Gabriel Norse. He's not going to be too bothered. It's a step lower on the overall podium, but remains second in class, so we'll continue to get second class, all-comers second place points. As much as he would like to take to the second step, as much as he'd like to take to the top step of the podium as well, Charlie Devlin is just holding that gap now at around about 3/4 of a second, and that's all he needs to do for the final, 5 minutes of this race. Charlie Devlin over the start-finish line with a 2:06. Nathan Williams over the line with a 2:05, so he's wanting to close in, and at least on paper, it would indicate that it is starting to go the way of Nathan Williams, at least until it. Nathan Williams sat there in third place. Albert Henriksen Bell currently in fourth. Finley Lyons not joining us this evening. Obviously, we mentioned he was second in the all-comers standings. So I've got a feeling if Charlie Devlin wins this race, this could be the championship win for Charlie Devlin. Still with 3 races to go. We'll try and confirm for you. Still with 4 minutes left in this race. So the last thing we want to do is then speak to Charlie and go, congratulations, you've won the championship. Off the road once more, Jacob Armour and Jacob Ellis. These two keep locking horns this season. It was the same at Alton Park. They race so closely, it's inevitable there will be a little bit of contact, but these two, they always seem to bounce off each other in such an odd way. They find themselves off the road. Jacob, it seems, came out on top at least on that occasion. Aaron Beattie now under pressure, it would seem. Or is that, no, that's Hugo Boscher coming through. Similar livery, but Hugo Boscher is in front of Jacob Ellis. So they're scrapping over their respective positions overall. Hugo Boscher will try and close in onto Jacob Ellis, because that would be onto Jacob Armour, pardon me, because that would be a position in class. So you pick up a few more points, and we're getting towards the tail end of the season, so any point you can get at this stage would be so crucial for your championship aspirations. With 3 minutes to go, we're going on to the penultimate lap of the race, and Charlie Devlin, he's a long way up the road. Gabriel Norse, however, he's now under big pressure from Nathan Williams on the running towards turn 1. Gabriel Norse says, yep, you know what, you can have that. I'm still leading my class. And Gabriel Norse driving a real secure race at this point, it would seem. Aaron Beattie has found himself back off the road once more. That was heading through Hans Ernst Bocht. Very quickly approaching is Hugo Boscher, so too is Jacob Ellis. So Jacob Ellis will try and go for that move, because that will be a position overall, a bit more contact. Hugo Boscher finds himself in the side of Aaron Beattie. Aaron Beattie runs wide through the gravel, that kills his momentum, and he'll be paying the price for that all the way to turn 1. So Jacob Ellis picks up 16th place, Hugo Boscher picks up 15th, Jacob Armour picks up 14th, and there's been a couple of positions in class change around as well. Scotty O'Connor drops down behind Sean Duffy now. Gabriel Norse having lost the place to Nathan Williams. He might just be running this race to the end now, still with a lap and a half to go. There's no major pressure for him to make the move, but it seems, yeah, is he struggling on tyres there? He was granted in 5th gear, but it just seems super hesitant on the front axle, and tried to get the throttle down. All the minor corrections being made to keep the car pointing the right way. Albert Henriksen Bell is so patient. He's just letting this race come to him, and he's more than happy with the 3rd place points, as much as he'd like to win, and the 2nd place points, but 3rd place is more than respectable for him. He was also away last week as well, so both he and Nathan Williams will be fighting right the way to the end of this season. They might even close in on Finley Lyons, so we could see a 3-way fight for the vice-champion come Brands Hatch next week. Dominic Jones with a mistake, that drops him behind Luca Riordos now. Of course, Luca recovering from the drive-through penalty. Dominic Jones, he's now got a lot of work to do. That was a mistake through the first sector, and with only a lap to go, well, at least for him, a lap and a half to go, he's got some driving to do. Aaron Beattie momentarily found himself off the road. Sean Duffy scrapping away with Callum Williams and Scotty O'Connor. Callum Williams and Scotty O'Connor side by side up the road as they head into Hans Ernst Bocht. On the brakes, pitch the car in to Sean Duffy, so deep on the brakes. is Callum Williams, but if anything, that saved him because Scotty O'Connor rotated the car through 360 degrees on the run in. Now he'll be able to grab a gear and get going. No, super patient, allows Aaron Beattie to go through. He could get going now. There was a bit of time for potentially him to jump in front, but no, Leon Olakoju goes through as well. Sean Duffy is now fighting away with Callum Williams. Those two absolutely side by side as they head through the final corner, heading on to their final lap of the race. These two always seem to find each other as well, but no, Callum Williams has got the better momentum coming out of the corner. That allows Sean Duffy to just jump in behind on the running towards turn one. Is there going to be a look? No, not on this occasion. There is a look. It's sort of a half look, but he was a long, long way back. As for our race leaders, Charlie Devlin now has extended the margin up to 1.3 seconds. Nathan Williams sat there in second place, but has got Gabriel Norse for company. Albert should have bought a spectator ticket here because he's been watching this all unfold in front of him, and I'm sure massively enjoying watching it as well. He's probably keeping a bit of pace. If he wanted to get involved, he would, but just wanting to keep a safe race and always keeping it within the white lines and nice and tidy as Albert. So wanting to carry on that trend. It's the lead 4 and then a 10.5 second gap before we get back to Will Johnson. So it just shows how quick this lead quartet is. And Gabriel Norse, for a driver of the scholarship class, racing against drivers older than him, really putting on a show and showing exactly why he wants that entry into the Ginetta Juniors Scholarship of 2025. But for the first time this evening, lights ablaze. Charlie Devlin comes through the final corner to win race number 1 here at Zandvoort. And we're going to say, provisionally, your 2025 Ginetta eSeries all-comers champion. Nathan Williams over the start-finish line to pick up second place and second in class. Gabriel Norse over the start-finish line to win the scholarship class in race number 1 as well. Albert Henriksen Bell rounds out your all-comers podium. Will Johnson over the start-finish line to finish second in the scholarship class. Luke Armstrong over the line to round out your scholarship podium. Lucas Chatterton the next to arrive. He will finish 7th overall, 4th in class. Harry Ellis will cross the line to finish 8th overall and 4th in the all-comers class. Jake Critchley and that of Andrew Bailey round out your top 10. But what a brilliant, brilliant race that was once more from the Ginetta eSeries of 2025. Callum Williams will cross the line to finish in 11th place. Sean Duffy in 12th. Jacob Armour will finish in 13th place. Jacob Ellis has crossed the line to finish 14th. So going to be Hugo Boscher and Aaron Beattie, who picked up a 5-second time penalty throughout that race, to be added to his post-race time. Leon Olakoju over the start-finish line to finish in 17th place. Scotty O'Connor finishes in 18th. Luca Erdos will finish in 19th place. Dominic Jones should then arrive 20th, and Athena Cooper, after starting from the pit lane, will finish in 21st place. But joining us in the commentary box is Charlie Devlin. Charlie, at least with some rather speedy maths provisionally, I would say that makes you the Ginetta eSeries 2025 all-comers champion.
Thank you. That's nice to hear in my ears. It's been a good season so far. Obviously, picking up another win there. I really didn't expect to be anywhere really tonight. In practice, I was kind of 5th or 6th-ish, like 6 attempts off the pace. So I really wasn't expecting to qualify P2. It was a good qualifying session. Picked up a tow from Gabriel and Nathan, which was handy of them. And then in that race, I just kept it fairly consistent. It wasn't consistently quick. It was consistently 2 or 3 attempts slower than the 3 behind me. But they made fairly major mistakes throughout that race, and I tried to keep my mistakes minor. So I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was a brilliant start, and I guess you set up the move for the lead on the run in towards turn 1. You might have only ended up with the lead on the run out of turn 4, but it was a brilliant move, set up nice and early. And I guess you're at the top of the top of affairs, and then it was just holding them behind you. It was fabulous to watch. But throughout the season, what do you think it is that set you apart? I know obviously a couple of drivers have had sort of a week away, but it's been consistent podiums and wins.
I think if they didn't have a week away, it'd be a bit of a different story. We would still be going on about fighting for it really hard between myself, Nathan, Albert, obviously Gabriel for the overall as well. But yeah, it's been difficult. I think if those two didn't drop around, we would be going right down to the last race, and it would be all or nothing really. It would just be who finished ahead of the other. But I think so far this season I've stayed consistently. I've gained points every race. So yeah, consistency is key.
Consistency well and truly is key. But Charlie, a massive well done not only for the class win, but the overall win and the all-comers provisional championship as well. So we'll leave you for your preparations to for race 2, but best of luck, and hopefully we can speak to you again at the end of race 2.
Thank you.
So a quick word with Charlie Devlin. Gabriel Norse, another win, bagging yet more points, and you were running in that lead sort of quartet, and you were having a great little battle with Nathan Williams. Must have been fun.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I didn't really want to risk any penalties with Nathan, because that would just not be great, because he's in a different category to me. But yeah, I made a pretty bad mistake into the chicane on one of the final few laps, which just gave Charlie quite a big gap so that he could just walk away with it.
So is that then the plan for race 2? Because in theory for Charlie, he may be of the mindset that pressure's off and would be right. But are you wanting to bring the fight to him and see just how close you can get?
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, he's already won his championship, so I want to get as close to him and hopefully beat him overall in the next race.
Well, I'm sure you will. You'll give us something to watch. It's been fabulous to watch you so far throughout this season. But I'll leave you to get ready for race 2, and hopefully we can talk to you again in around about 20 minutes' time.
Yeah, thank you.
So a quick word with both Charlie Devlin and Gabriel Norse, respective class winners. But just whilst we get ready for race number 2, we'll leave you in the capable hands of our sponsors. Welcome back to Zandvoort, and welcome to race number 2 of the night. Charlie Devlin, after the race 1 win, finds himself on pole position. Nathan Williams is there alongside. Gabriel Norse finds himself in 3rd place. Albert Henriksen Bell in 4th. Will that lead quartet drive away again, or can Will Johnson capitalise on a good start and try and close in once more? Can Nathan Williams bring it back and try and get a win? Can Charlie Devlin make it a clean sweep? Keep an eye on Gabriel Norse as well. All that to be decided over the next 20 minutes here at Zandvoort. So the race gets underway. Luca Erdos unfortunately picked up a drive-through penalty. It's a brilliant start for Charlie Devlin, almost too good, which makes you think, has he gone slightly too early there? So Nathan Williams sat there in what is 2nd place for now. Albert Henriksen Bell giving Gabriel Norse a big old push on the run in towards turn 1, but Charlie Devlin, he's 2 seconds clear. We know there's a slight network issue. I've got a feeling, no, Charlie Devlin unfortunately has had to retire. There was a big incident on the run through turn 1, it would seem. Lots of drivers shuffling down, and yes, Charlie Devlin unfortunately finds himself in another incident. I think that's just maybe a slight hardware issue on his part, and all of a sudden jumping in and out of the order, that caused quite the substantial collection of Ginetta G40 juniors on the run through sector 1. Nathan Williams defending his lead. Questions over, are we going to see a safety car? And yes, we are. So the safety car has been deployed. Drivers will see that and immediately slow their pace. Fair play to Gabriel Norse. He was racing until he saw the safety car lights and boards, until he got the call from race control that the safety car was going to be deployed. Was not going to let anyone get away with it. But for Charlie Devlin, still jumping around, finds himself down in 17th place. I'm sure questions will be had as to exactly how fit the car is to continue. Nathan Williams finds himself at the head of affairs. He's being ushered on by Gabriel Norse to try and catch up to the safety car as quickly as possible. A couple of drivers weaving around nice and early to surge some extra temperature into the tyres and into the brakes. Brilliant coastline circuit is Zandvoort. You can see the sea in the background, only what, a couple of 100 meters away from the sea. It's very, very close indeed, which can opt for maybe not so much in these cars, but cars that rely slightly more on aerodynamics. That's where you start to see those cars really fall foul of the offshore winds coming through the North Sea. Out of the final corner comes the queue of cars. They will see that of Peter Cornelius sat there and waiting. So he's up the road, just heading in towards turn one. He will have his LED lights on, ready to receive the field. And Peter Cornelius is now at the head of the field and will lead the cars around. Maybe only for one lap, so it turns a 20-minute race into around about a 14-minute sprint. Nathan Williams, you can see just how hard he was soaring at the wheel, trying to surge temperature into that front axle just to get some bite over the next couple of laps, piling on the lock, almost forcing the understeer, so the tyre rolls, and as such the surface area slightly increases, but it's more the lateral load that just surges the temperature through friction and hopefully the pressures as well, which is what you ideally want to then maintain that temperature. It's all well and good working the surface of the tyre, but if you can warm the carcass through, I mean, similar driving to Nathan Williams, that will really keep the tyre temperature nice and high, working the brakes as well slightly to get them nice and warm. Peter Cornelius being hurried on by Nathan Williams. This allows an opportunity at least for Charlie Devlin to close in. It seems he's had a brief spell in the pit lane. Let's have a quick look down the order. Charlie Devlin, he has been into the pit lane. That might have been for just a quick once over, ensure all is well, both with virtual issues and real ones as well, just to make sure everything is nice and consistent and allowing him to go back racing. So he's closing in onto the tail end of the order. That will be definitely one to watch. Safety car is coming into the pit lane at the end of this lap, so Nathan Williams is in charge of holding the pace. Charlie Devlin is almost at the tail end of the order, should be there by the time we go back racing. So Peter Cornelius disappears up the road and will opt for the pit lane on this time. Nathan Williams still holding the pace. It's going to be a 15-minute sprint, something like that. Has Nathan Williams gone already? Yes, he has. Nathan Williams has gone nice and early, so Peter Cornelius is going to be in a bit of a hurry to get into the pit lane. I think there's been contact through that corner. Yes, there has. There's been a couple of cars, and I think I've got caught out slightly through Hans-Ernst Bocht. Just caught sleeping slightly by Nathan Williams' early start. So that has well and truly given us a 4-car lead train, and then a couple of other drivers, maybe not quite so quick on the uptake, that has dropped them right the way down the order. Luke Armstrong finds himself off the road on the right-hand side and towards the right-hander at Kumo, and I don't think that is just a mistake. I think that may be an issue for him, but Gabriel Norse trying to go all the way around the outside. There is Luke Armstrong, out of fuel potentially for Luke. There was still some revs there. Gabriel Norse now going for the lead all the way around the outside, nibbles at the grass, but he can't quite make it work on this occasion. So Nathan Williams continues to lead. Gabriel Norse finds himself in second place. Albert Henriksen Bell finally picking up those second place points that he will want from race one, but our top four separated by just over a second, and then we get the 10-second gap again. So it's like a copy and paste of race one. Luca Erdos has served that drive-through penalty for the jump start. Athena Cooper still scrapping away very, very closely with Jacob Ellis, those two bouncing off each other. Jacob Ellis desperate to try and get through, and I think Athena Cooper still recovering from the moment. Wasn't really given much of an opportunity to gather the car back up once again. Charlie Devlin is there, but will be taking it easy at least on this race, maybe returning to the circuit just to bag a couple of points to further cement that championship and see how many points he can get come the end of this season. Of course, he will be thinking about the overall championship, albeit there's no prizes for that. Dominic Jones returning to the circuit in reverse gear. Charlie Devlin just got caught out, and we're now hearing that Luke Armstrong has unfortunately had a mechanical issue and his engine has blown up. So that means that might have been the cause of the confusion at the beginning of the safety car. Luke Armstrong put his foot to the floor and the power simply wasn't there. So Nathan Williams leads from Gabriel Norse and Albert Henriksen-Bell. Those three absolutely nose to tail. William Johnson has fallen away slightly, but will be more than happy with second place in class for now. You can see just how wide cars have been running through Kumo in any sort of effort to maximise the momentum coming out the corner. Andrew Bailey all the way around the outside of Lucas Chatterton. If he makes that work, that'll be a brilliant move, but it'll then be the outside for the final corner, the outside for turn one. He's still there or thereabouts. He's got some good momentum. Callum Williams has got to pick a side here. Is he going to try and push Lucas Chatterton into the lead, or into the lead of this little train, or is he going to try and push Andrew Bailey? Andrew Bailey doesn't need it, he's already there. Brilliant move from Andrew Bailey. That puts him inside the top 5 now, currently 3rd in class. So the battle that we're watching between Andrew Bailey and Callum Williams is the battle for the final step on the all-comers podium. So in towards turns 3 and 4 once more. Callum Williams with a bit of work to do, because Andrew Bailey has got that place and has just started to drive away. He opts for the slightly wider entry to try and slingshot his way out of Hugenholzbocht. Callum Williams, he's coming under pressure now from Lucas Chatterton, having just got that overtake complete. He's now really starting to have that pressure applied. Up the inside goes Lucas Chatterton. You can see the nose of the car dive, but a bit too far back on this occasion. We will take this moment just to, of course, thank the sponsors of this championship, Roadtax Martin, 2F Media Productions, as well as Per Cup Coffee, which you can find supplied at the Perfect Acceleration Sim Racing Drive Hub, Monger at Monte Carlo as well, for their continued support. Sean Duffy trying to go around the outside here of Jake Critchley, but then Jake Critchley dives to the inside of Lucas Chatterton. Lucas Chatterton, was that a small mistake actually, because he's just started to fall away. He was fighting back onto Callum Williams. All of a sudden, Callum's 1.5 seconds up the road, so Jake Critchley immediately jumps on the scene and tries to pick up the place, and he does. Lucas Chatterton finds himself in 8th now. Sean Duffy trying to pick up that place. As for the lead, that's closed down. Gabriel Norse has got to the lead. There's only 3/10 separating Gabriel Norse from Nathan Williams, so having got there, all of a sudden, Gabriel will be under big pressure. Jacob Ellis loses a spot to Leon Olakoju as he goes deep on the brakes, but Gabriel Norse goes through post to 2 minutes 6.1. It's a very quick lap from Gabriel Norse. Nathan Williams, if anything, has a slower lap, a 2 minutes 6.7. So maybe a mistake for Nathan Williams that allowed Gabriel Norse to get through. Albert Henriksen-Bell currently sat there in 3rd place. He's still watching on, but now his main championship rival is right in front of him. He's not got Gabriel Norse separating himself from 1st place in class. Down through the gearbox, making sure that he's got all of the torque available to him on the exit of Hugenholzbocht. But a slightly slower exit from Albert Henriksen-Bell leaves a little to be desired, I think, into the next couple of corners. So he was on the back foot, just ticked past the halfway point in this race. Still 10 minutes to go. Sean Duffy under pressure from Scotty O'Connor, despite trying to fight his way through and past Lucas Chatterton over the previous couple of laps. Aaron Beattie appeared in the background, pushing on. The tail end of the car struggling to respond to the demands of the driver. Sean Duffy this time. What line does he take through here? You can see just how aggressive Scotty was on the turn in, and that just washed him wide on the run through Chevlac. In towards Mastersbocht of turn 8, then in towards turn 9. Sean Duffy is doing all right here. He capitalised on that small mistake from Scotty O'Connor and now has started to immediately assert his attentions onto closing down Lucas Chatterton again. It shows just what a presence a car has in your rearview mirror, and as soon as that presence is gone, all of a sudden Sean Duffy, he spots the opportunity. Lucas Chatterton slightly late on the turn in, but a compromised turn in from Sean Duffy to try and find the room. And that means that Sean Duffy has to settle for 9th for now. Lucas Chatterton, currently sat there in 8th place, will be defending that over the next couple of laps, that's for sure. Callum Williams loses out to Andrew, or continues to try and work his way through and past Andrew Bailey. Desperate to get to 3rd place, but just nibbles the gravel. That costs him so much momentum, even to the point he has to go down into third gear, back up into fourth, but he'll be paying the price for that all the way towards turn one. There is that lead battle that's swapped around once more. Nathan Williams back to the lead. Gabriel Norse still leading the scholarship class, but for him, he doesn't necessarily need to worry about overtaking Nathan Williams, but of course the overall win sounds that little bit sweeter than the class win. Albert's driven a very clever race this evening, sat there in third place, just biding his time. Will Johnson currently sat in fourth place. Again, a fairly quiet race for Will. He's got 14.5 seconds over Andrew Bailey, who is fighting away with Callum Williams, so you could see maybe more time being lost. Gabriel Norse taking a few more liberties with the white lines on this race, using every piece of circuit he can get away with. Right the way down through the gears, up to the top of the rev range, in an effort to better the exit on the run through turn 9, in towards turn 10. Just a quick dab of the brakes. Athena Cooper gets a 5-second time penalty for exceeding track limits, but Gabriel Norse, it was a good run, but he hasn't quite got the momentum to draw himself level. He'll have to be brave on the brakes. Luca Erdos joins the queue with the 5-second time penalties. Gabriel Norse now comes out the throttle early, not going for the overtake on this occasion. Both the top two bouncing over the curbs, a very similar line. It's very impressive to see just how close Gabriel Norse can follow Nathan Williams without any contact, but a late move to the inside, just trying to fill the mirrors, it would seem, for Gabriel Norse at the moment. Apply that pressure onto Nathan Williams. We've got 6.5 minutes of this race to go. Slightly poorer run initially for Nathan Williams, but Albert Henriksen Bell isn't closing massively. Gabriel's there or thereabouts when it comes to closing down Nathan Williams. In towards turn 1 once more. Who's got the fastest lap of the race at this stage in the race? Just as we update my side, yeah, a mistake it would seem for Williams. Just hit the brakes on the grass. And there you go, Gabriel Norse back to the lead. So Gabriel Norse leads the way from Nathan Williams now. Fastest lap of the race goes the way of Nathan Williams still on a 2-minute 5.928, closely followed by Gabriel Norse on a 2-minute 5.969, but we have seen the change. So Nathan Williams, a small mistake. Gabriel Norse immediately there to capitalise. He jumps to the lead. Albert Henriksen Bell back onto the coattails of Nathan Williams. So the top three absolutely together as they head into Shy Black, then into Masters Box at turn 8. Using a bit of curb and a bit of grass on the left-hand side, in towards turn 8 there will go. All of the curb for Albert Henriksen Bell, just to try and shorten the circuit distance and close in on those two up the road. Through turn 9, all of the curve for Gabriel Norse. That bounces him wide, it unsettles the car with a defensive line in towards turn 10. Nathan Williams, is he going to go for a late lunge up the inside? No, not on this occasion. So smooth is the driving style of Albert Henriksen Bell. His tyres will be in, I think, much better condition than those of Gabriel Norse and Nathan Williams. Luca Erdos has managed to work his way through and past Leon Olakoju on this lap. Maybe a mistake from Leon, as he's lost, what, best part of 2 seconds since that overtake. Right the way down to second gear, all of the curb available for the top three. Will Johnson will be watching this up the road and just, I think, somewhat glad that he's not got to spend the next 4 3/4 minutes scrapping away over maybe even a position overall, not even a position in class. Gabriel Norse with a good run out of the penultimate corner. Same goes for Nathan Williams, same goes for Albert Henriksen Bell. Gabriel Norse could be under pressure here on the run in towards turn 1, because Nathan got probably the best of the 3 runs. He's now sat in the aerodynamic assistance. He will jump over to the right-hand side unless Gabriel Norse beats him to it to take to the defensive line. But with 3 laps remaining, Nathan Williams holds station for now. Right the way down through the gearbox, bouncing off the rev limiter at one point, I think. Nathan Williams washes slightly wide at the apex, uses a bit more curb than Gabriel Norse in the lead. Gabriel Norse leads from Nathan Williams from Albert Henriksen Bell. Will Johnson is in 4th place, Callum Williams in 5th, Andrew Bailey 6th place, Jake Critchley in 7th, Lucas Chatterton in 8th, Sean Duffy in 9th, and Scotty O'Connor rounds out your top 10. Lucas Chatterton will be desperately trying to maybe not stay in front of Sean Duffy, but to keep Sean Duffy where he is, because that is his buffer between himself and Scotty O'Connor, and it might just make his job that little bit easier of holding on to the 3rd step of the scholarship podium. Since we've seen Callum Williams and Andrew Bailey swap over, that's Callum Williams up into third in the all-comers class. 3.5 minutes to go. Albert Henriksen Bell. It's brilliant to see just how he negotiates the Zandvoort circuit. Athena Cooper, a further 5-second time penalty to be applied post-race. All over the grass on the exit of turn 9 is Gabriel Norse. So he's pushing on, but that allows him to open up turn 10 and get a really good exit out of there. It was great to ride on board with Albert Henriksen Bell for a lap, just to see exactly how he negotiates the Zandvoort circuit. Off the road has been Jacob Ellis on the exit of Hugenholzbocht. So Jacob Ellis loses a place to Luca Erdos, and I think he lost out to Hugo Boscher, or was chasing down Hugo Boscher and made the mistake. Harry Ellis finds himself bouncing his way back onto the circuit. Scotty O'Connor with a mistake. That allows Sean Duffy through. It allows Aaron Beattie through. Jacob Armour arrives on the scene and just about manages to find a bit of space to call his own. A bit of contact between Sean Duffy and Jacob Armour as they try to swap around once more. Jacob Armour looking to the inside of Aaron Beattie. It's so late on the brakes. Is he going to get the car slowed down? Just about, it would seem. But Sean Duffy, I think, saw that one coming and is now looking for the cutback. Gets a good run. Will it be a look to the inside on the run in towards Kumo? Not on this occasion, just a nibble of the grass for Sean Duffy. This is a brilliant battle for the final spots inside the top 10. Aaron Beattie gets shuffled wide. He hits the gravel. That costs him some momentum, but immediately tries to rejoin and not only takes himself off the road, but also takes Sean Duffy off the road as well. Aaron Beattie spears back over the road in towards the Armco barrier. Harry Ellis arrives on the scene, recovering from his earlier incident. So Jacob Armour, the big winner out of that, finds himself currently 4th in the scholarship class, 9th overall. But Lucas Chatterton, I think he's made a mistake as well. Yes, he has, because Jake Critchley's got back in front. So Jake Critchley up into 7th place now, still remains 5th in the all-comers class. But Lucas Chatterton, with that mistake, that's now put him slightly closer to Jacob Armour, but there's still quite a healthy margin between himself and the next car that could threaten that final step on the podium. Harry Ellis now looking to the outside of Sean Duffy. You've got to be so brave to make a move there. We've seen it a couple of times throughout the evening. But Harry Ellis holds on in 12th. Sean Duffy holds on in 11th. He's got a rear view mirror full of the recovering Harry Ellis, the number 63 machine. In towards the long right-hander of Scheiflack. Super close between pretty much top to bottom of the order. It's brilliant to see, as ever in the Ginetta eSeries, as ever on Perfect Acceleration Sim Racing. We would love to have more of you as well, so if you are interested, please do get in touch, whether that be on the website or via the Discord. Do get in touch. There will be future opportunities to get you out on the grid, and we would love to see more of you. But Gabriel Norse leads the field onto the final lap of the race. Nathan Williams still sat there in 2nd place, 3/10 adrift. A quicker lap on that occasion from Gabriel Norse. If you are interested in joining us, but a lock-up for Gabriel Norse. We'll come back to that. Lock-up for Gabriel Norse. That just washes him wide of the apex. Nathan Williams couldn't quite capitalise. Whilst we were on the subject of wanting to see more of you, if you want to join us for the very final round of the Ginetta eSeries in 2025, you can. We have space available in next week's round at Brands Hatch GP, the decider of many a championship position. We'd love to see you. It is also featuring the cup format as well, so you might think, oh well, there's no opportunity for me in the championship. There is in the cup. That's run on something of a round by round basis. We tested it out at Alton Park and it went brilliantly, and we saw some fabulous cup battles as well. But in terms of the cup at Brands Hatch, that will be even better, so please do join us for Brands Hatch as a cup entrant. An opportunity to get your hands on a prize as well. But Gabriel Norse through turns 8 and 9 for the final time this evening. He wanted that race win overall. I think he got it at Alton Park. So wide once more on the run through turn 9. He's not quite got it here. He's going to have to fight for this one, because Nathan Williams is not going to let him get away with this. That's all. Let him run wide. So Nathan Williams, however, I think he's just that little bit too far back on this occasion. Gabriel Norse, fresh off a win in the second race at Alton Park. He's going to make it. Second race here at Zandvoort for the final time this evening through the final corner. It's Gabriel Norse that wins race number 2 here at Zandvoort, hunted to the line by Nathan Williams. Albert Henriksen Bell picks up second place in the all-comers class. Nathan Williams wins the all-comers class, and Albert Henriksen Bell finishes second but rounds out your overall podium. Will Johnson over the line to finish a brilliant second place in the scholarship class. Callum Williams will round out your top 5 and also round out your all-comers podium. So third place points for Callum Williams as we head towards the final round at Brands Hatch. Crucial point scoring round for Callum. Andrew Bailey chases him to the line to finish 4th in class, 6th overall. Jake Critchley over the line next to finish in what will be 7th place. Lucas Chatterton rounds out your scholarship class podium. He will finish in what is 8th place. Jacob Armour in 9th. Scotty O'Connor rounds out your top 10. Then it will be Sean Duffy over the line in 11th place to finish 6th in the all-comers class, hunted down by Harry Ellis all the way to the line, who will finish in 12th place. Aaron Beattie, the next car to take the checkered flag, will finish in 13th place. Will it be Hugo Boscher or will it be Luca Erdos? Side by side over the start-finish line, but it will be Luca Erdos, Hugo Boscher, pardon me, that finishes in 14th. Luca Erdos rounds out your top 15. Jacob Ellis has already gone through to finish in 16th place. Leon Olakoju in 17th. Dominic Jones in 18th place. Athena Cooper will arrive in 19th. Charlie Devlin has already gone through and taken the checkered flag after picking up a 5-second time penalty on the very final lap of that race. And then it will be Luke Armstrong, 2 laps down, to finish in 21st place. Joining us in the commentary box, however, are our race winners, one of which is weaving around and flashing his lights. Gabriel Norse, fresh off the back of a race 2 win at Alton Park. You've made it a race 2 win here at Zandvoort. I mean, you're proving exactly why you need to be the one in the Ginetta Scholarship for 2025.
Yeah, it's been pretty good so far. I mean, getting the win in race 2 was definitely helpful with that, and just getting past Nathan and being able to stay there. So yeah, that was pretty good.
I mean, you put on a good show, both you and Nathan constantly vying for places. But I guess in the back of your mind, were you thinking, if something were to happen and we were to slow each other down a bit too much, Albert's there as well, and he's ready to take the place. So it must be quite tense behind the wheel.
Yeah, I think both me and Nathan were a bit scared of Albert getting through as well and catching us, because I don't think either of us really wanted to have him in the fight for first. But yeah, it was pretty good. We were able to keep it quite clean and just be able to stay up in front.
And eyes forward to Brands Hatch on the GP layout as well, so a bit more mileage again. Proper old-fashioned circuit, so much undulation, some very quick corners, some slightly slower corners. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, Brands is always a brilliant track to go to, with the back part of the circuit being in the forest. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a very fun race to have.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing you there in a week's time. But of course, a massive well done for 2 class wins and an overall race win here this evening. And we'll see you next week at Brands Hatch.
Yep, thank you.
And Nathan Williams joins us as well. Nathan, 2 solid results off the back of a week away, managing to get the win in the all-comers class as well. It was great to see you at the weekend, but that looked like quite a tricky race, quite a tricky evening, really. There was so much fighting. It must be quite mentally draining, just 40 minutes of constantly battling.
Yeah, obviously I've had decent pace taking pole, and then I think just a few mistakes in race 1 dropped me off Charlie, and then I think after Charlie had his issues at the start of the race and me and Gabriel were battling, as Gabriel said, I just didn't want to lose a position to Albert because I gained nothing in the championship for overtaking Gabriel. But if I lost a position to Albert, I would. So I was just trying to stay alive and just keep my position.
And of course, coming out of this evening and going into Brands Hatch, there's now only 2 points between yourself and Albert. You being the latter, that you got 2 points to find. It's all on the line, really. I know, obviously, it's for the vice champion spot, but it sounds a bit nicer than third, doesn't it? You're going to be coming out swinging?
Yeah, that's the goal. Hopefully just try and do what I've done tonight, gain a few more points than Albert, and hopefully get second in the championship.
Well, I mean, best of luck for next week. We're looking forward to seeing you there. And of course, a massive congratulations, not only for tonight, but your brilliant work at the weekend as well, in your real world endeavours. And we'll see you in a week at Brands Hatch.
Thank you.
So a quick word, pardon me, with Nathan Williams and that of Gabriel Norse. Let's have a look at how the championship looks coming into Brands Hatch next week. Gabriel Norse on 291 points in the scholarship class, a long way clear of Will Johnson on 216, who's still trying to secure his vice champion spot ahead of Luke Armstrong on 189. Riley Pogue finds himself in 4th place, and Jacob Armour only a few points adrift in 5th, still under pressure from Luca Erdos in the championship. As we look to the all-comers standings, Charlie Devlin has more than wrapped up the all-comers championship already, I think. Same too for Gabriel Norse. Albert Henriksen Bell, however, finds himself in 2nd place on 174 points, just ahead of Nathan Williams on 172, who's had 2 points penalty applied as well. They would be drawing heading into the final 2 races of the year. Jake Critchley currently sat in 4th place, Callum Williams in 5th, and Sean Duffy sat there in 6th place. We've mentioned Brands Hatch, that's where we're going next week on the GP layout. So rather aptly, Perfect Acceleration Sim Racing. We always find ourselves at Brands Hatch towards the end of the season, and it is the decider for all of those positions in the championship that are still so tightly contested after 5 weeks of racing, and it will be 10 races completed, and every single one a fabulous advert, not only for Perfect Acceleration Sim Racing, but also the Ginetta eSeries of 2025, and what is very similar, the Ginetta Junior Championship for its real-world counterpart. Myself, Jack Worrell, has been guiding you through all of the action this evening. Tom O'Farrell, again, a massive thank you to Tom for all of the work he does on the buttons, keeping us up to date with everything that's going on and showing us exactly what we need to see. Our series organiser, Mick Sutton, of course, at Perfect Acceleration Sim Racing. And of course, our race director and safety car driver, who we saw out for a lap this evening, Peter Cornelius. So alongside with us all here at PASR and all of the sponsors that allowed this evening to happen. It's been fabulous to have you watching along at home. We'll see you next week at Brands Hatch. Bye-bye.